Alright, this section of our flipbook has a number of practice questions regarding circles. And let's go ahead and take a look at them and set them up and see how to solve them. The first one, what is the center and radius of the circle with an equation of x minus 1 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 16? Well, we need to remember what the standard form of a circle looks like. Let's just go ahead and write that up here. It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That means that this value right here is h, and this value is k, and this value, be careful class, it's r squared, not r. So don't think that the radius is 16. So now for this one, all you have to do is, let's identify our center first. So our center is at h comma k, which is actually 1 comma negative 3. I want you to remember on this, you flip both signs. Don't forget, with a circle, because the h shows up as negative h and the k shows up as negative k in our standard form, that means when you see this x minus 1, h is actually positive 1, y plus 3, k is actually negative 3. So there's our center. And then our radius, to find our radius, this is probably the number one mistake I'll see students do, so don't be lazy about this. Be careful how you do this. We found from our equation that r squared equals 16. So r equals the square root of 16. Put that in your calculator and you will get 4. And since we don't know how big this circle is as far as unit of measure, we just put units, 4 units. So there's our center and radius. Pretty straightforward. Next question. What is the radius of the circle with a center at 3 comma 4 and a point on the circle at negative 5, negative 2? Now I want you to remember something. The radius is the distance between the center and any point on the circle. That means if we can find the distance between the center and a point on the circle, we will find the radius. And just to kind of show you that as an example, if I draw a circle right here, and let's put a center here, okay, this measurement right here, that is our radius. So if we know this center point is at 3 comma 4, and we know this point on the circle is negative 5, negative 2. And I know that doesn't make any sense because it's not in the negative quadrant, but just get the picture. We're just looking for the distance between these 2 points. And we know how to do that using the distance formula. Let's go ahead and write our 2 points here. We're looking at a center at 3, 4. Let's label that as x sub 1, y sub 1. And then a point on the circle is negative 5, negative 2. Let's label that as x sub 2, y sub 2. And let's use our distance formula. So our distance formula is, we've got x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And that's going to be negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8 squared. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6 squared. Let's put a square root over that now. And let's simplify that. That's going to be the square root of negative 8 squared is 64. Remember, when you square a number, it always turns positive. And negative 6 squared is 36. So let's keep on going. We're going to simplify that. That's going to be the square root of 64 plus 36, which is 100. And if you put that in your calculator, the square root of 100 is exactly 10. We don't know how big this circle is in actual unit of measure, so we're just going to write the generic units, 10 units. That's how to find the radius if you know the center and any point on the circle. Take a look at problem number 3. What is the equation of a circle with a center at 4, -3 and a radius of 5 feet? Well, again, all we have to do is remember what the standard form of a circle is. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. If you take a look, we know that 4 is h, -3 is k, and 5 is r. Let's go ahead and plug those values in. So we've got x. Remember, we have a minus sign here, so you flip the sign of h. That turns to -4 squared. Let's flip the sign of k. That's going to change to +3 squared. And then we've got the r value is 5. So that means, let's go ahead and change this. If r is 5, if r equals 5, then r squared equals 5 squared, which is 25. So this number is 25. And there is our equation of the circle. Don't forget, this is never the radius. It is the radius squared. All right, let's go to the last one. What is the center of a circle with a diameter that has endpoints at 2, 4, and -4, -2? All we got to do is remember, class, what diameter is. Let's go ahead and draw that. So if I've got a circle here, and this is my center point, then a diameter crosses exactly through my center point and touches 2 points on my circle. So if you look at this, if they give me these 2 green points, these 2 endpoints, then I need to find this point right in the middle, and that is going to be my center, and that is a midpoint. So we're going to use the midpoint formula. And let's even put on here, we are looking for midpoint. MP. So let's use the midpoint formula. Let's go ahead and write our two coordinates. So we've got 2, 4. Let's label that x sub 1, y sub 1. We've got -4, -2. Let's label that x sub 2, y sub 2. Let's go ahead and write out our midpoint formula. The midpoint formula is, we've got x sub 1 plus x sub 2. Actually, I'm not even going to write that out because you already have that in your flip book. Let's just plug in our points. It's x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2, and then y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. We've got some negatives in here that we have to resolve. 2 plus -4 is 2 minus 4. That's -2 over 2. And 4 plus -2, that's 4 minus 2, which is +2 over 2. And we can simplify that one step further. -2 over 2 is -1. 2 over 2 is +1. And here is our midpoint, -1, 1. So when you get the 2 points on a diameter of a circle, the center of that circle will be exactly the midpoint of those 2 points, and we use the midpoint formula to solve for that.